Level 0. A coin is spinning on the kitchen floor, and you are 6 years old, and you cannot look away from it. You flicked it yourself, off your thumb. The tile is cold under your knees. Behind you, in the doorway, a woman you've never seen is watching you and not the coin. Nobody in the house seems to think that's strange. The coin slows, wobbles, falls tails. The woman writes something down. Children aren't supposed to be data. She's turning you into a column of it. Her name is Dr. Halsey, though you won't learn that for years. She doesn't care whether you guessed right. She cares what you did with your hands while you waited to find out. Level 1, Candidate. You aren't the strongest kid on the hill. There's a game where everyone tries to throw everyone else off a dirt mound, and you lose it, then you win it. You win by telling the biggest boy his shoes untied, and when he looks down, you shove. He cries. You stand on top. Somewhere, a woman writes that down too. This is how they pick you. Not for size, not even for the rare marker in your blood. 1 in a million. The reason your body can be rebuilt later without tearing itself apart. They find 150 children who have it. They can only afford 75. So they watch you on the hill, and they keep the ones who do what it takes. You don't remember the night they come. That's the design. A sedative, a transport, a planet called Reach 11 light years from the only home you have. You fall asleep in your own bed. You wake up somewhere with a number where your last name used to be. Level 2. The replacement. In the bed you left, there's a copy of you. It's a flash clone, grown fast, in weeks instead of years. Because growing one properly costs more than this program will spend on a cover story. It has your face. It has enough of your mother in it that she won't look twice. It's also dying, and everyone who made it knows that, and nobody tells her. Flash-grown bodies don't hold. Your clone gets a few months. The boy is wrong in ways she can't name. Slower, quieter, often a register only a parent hears. A doctor finds nothing, because there's nothing yet that has a name. Then the boy gets sick, and then the boy dies, and the funeral is real. There's a small coffin and a smaller crowd, and your mother keeps one hand flat on the lid through the whole service, not moving. The grief is real. Your mother buries a child and means it. She just buries the wrong one, and she will never know it. You're on Reach, learning to field strip a rifle, forgetting the shape of her face a little more each week, and you've still got all your teeth. On Reach, a man named Mendez is waiting, with 8 years and the will to use all of them. Level 3. Reach. The first thing they do on Reach is drop you in a forest. Chief Petty Officer Mendez, the man who raises you, which is a strange word for it, flies 75 6-year-olds into the wilderness and leaves. There's a transport at a clearing kilometers off. First ones there eat. He says it once, flat, and he's gone. You learn things children shouldn't have to, on a schedule. How to go without water. How to strip a rifle in the dark and rebuild it by feel. You lose your first tooth here, with no one to slip a coin under your pillow, which is funny, given how all this started. In week 3, the kid 2 bunks down doesn't come back from an exercise. You knew his number, not his name, and that he still cried at night thinking nobody heard. The rounds are live. The fear has to be real. One of you guesses wrong about cover. You're told it's normal. You're told a great deal is normal. You don't mourn because mourning is time, and there's a schedule. Then comes the day that bends everything. Capture the flag. 2 squads. Live rounds. Your squad losing. You see the way to win. You let the other side fire on a position you know holds one of your own, because the noise pulls their eyes, because the math works. It works. You take the flag. Something lands in your chest that isn't horror. It's pride. And in that second, you remember a hill, a boy whose shoe was fine, a woman in a doorway writing it down. She didn't pick the strongest. She picked the child who already would, then paid for his schooling. The 8 years weren't to make you into something. They were to hand the thing you already were a rifle and a reason. You're 14 next week. There's a procedure. They haven't told you how many of you it kills. Level 4, augmentation. The procedure has a clean name and does unclean things. At 14, they take the 75 of you who are left and rebuild you from the inside. Ceramic threaded through your bones. Muscle rewoven denser, faster. Your reactions filed down past anything human. You're unconscious for it, which should mean you feel nothing. Instead, you feel all of it. Each alteration arriving with its own private kind of pain. You wake in a ward. You're alive. You can tell, because it hurts. Down the corridor, there's another ward, and the hallway between them is short, which somebody clearly planned. 30 of you never woke. The body refused the changes. They went into cold storage, on the official hope they could someday be brought back. 12 more woke wrong. Bones healed crooked. Hands that won't close. Spines that won't hold. Those 12 get wheeled out to quiet desk work at the intelligence office, and you never see them again. And their numbers get said exactly once. 33 of you are left standing. That's how many Spartans there are now. 33. There's a wall with the numbers of the ones who aren't. You read down it. You look for yours. It isn't there. Standing at that wall, you don't feel grief. You feel relief. You go looking for the part that should be ashamed of that, and it isn't there either. Taken out somewhere between reach and the table, or maybe never there, which is maybe why you're the one still reading it. Level 5, deployment. Your first mission, they send you home, or close to it. The Eridanus system, the asteroid belt above the world you were stolen from, where a colonel named Watts leads a band of rebels. Here's what no one said out loud for 8 years. The program was never built to fight aliens. There are no aliens yet. It was built to end the insurrection. Colonists in the outer systems who want free of the government and have fought it for decades. You were taken from one of those colonies. You were trained to go back and put it down. So you do. You and 4 others. A fast one called Kelly, a quiet markswoman called Linda, a kid named Sam who jokes right up until the shooting starts, and John, already somehow the one everyone follows. You find Watts. On the way out, the hangar isn't empty. There are people in it who aren't soldiers, and the charge is set, and the door is closing, and you've got half a second. You arm it. 11 rebel soldiers die. The civilians, nobody counts. You take a round in the side and get a medal for it. A Purple Heart, 14 years old, and they tell you it was a clean operation, and you almost believe them. 3 months later, the aliens come. The Covenant, an empire of species who believe killing humanity is holy. They don't negotiate, they don't stop, and the first world they reach, they burn down to glass. Overnight, the rebels you were built to kill stop being the enemy. Overnight, they're just humanity, the thing you now exist to save. Nobody mentions the hangar. Nobody says that for 8 years and 1 mission, the enemy was people who looked exactly like the people you're dying for now. The war that needed you arrived right on time to make what you'd already done look like mercy. You never ask. None of you ever do. Level 6, finale. Years later, you're back on reach between deployments, and someone flips a coin in a corridor to settle something stupid, and you catch it out of the air without deciding to. Reflexes they built. You open your hand. Tails. You didn't choose to catch it. You just did. The way you do everything now. The body moving first, and the reasons arriving later, if they arrive at all. That's what this life is. Not a hero's, not a monster's. A child who was good at a game on a floor, found by someone who needed exactly that, and kept. You know the shape of it, a little. The thing you were praised for as a kid, that quietly became the only thing anyone wanted from you. The talent that turned into a leash. They just took it further than anyone took yours. If that landed somewhere in your chest, subscribe. There were 74 other children, and only some of them got a story. 11 light years away, there's a small grave with your name on it, and a coin a woman once pressed into a smaller hand for luck. The one in your fist is still warm. You put it in your pocket. You go back to work.